Ladies and gentlemen, the news is officially out for Carson Wentz and how long he's going to be missing next season. The surgery is going to be a process. They're going to actually get the bone removed from his foot that has been lingering with Carson Wentz. They said it was a twinge when he heard it at practice. But Coach Frank Reich came out and stated that it is an old injury from high school. So they're going to remove the bone that is lingered from his injury. And he also stated that Carson Wentz, knowing him, is not a nagging pain, so he will try to play through it. We know a lot of players play through injuries that don't have to deal with season-ending consequences. So most players play on injury a lot. Knowing Carson Wentz, his dedication, his motivation, his passion for the game, his drive, they know that he's going to try to play, even though we know he's not 100%. So the surgery is going to take process. He's going to miss about 5 to 12 weeks. But for some of you casuals that just clearly do not understand the process of 5 to 12 weeks, I've seen in my comment section, I literally seen it in my comment section, that most people think that 5 to 12 weeks is a long time. But some of them also think that the 5 to 12 weeks is regular season games. This 5 to 12 weeks will start after the surgery is complete, which means that this is going to happen before the preseason. So if you cancel 4 of those weeks, you'll take away 4 preseason games in which we all knew that he was missing anyway. Then you put into the regular weeks that's going into the regular season, you add about maybe 2 or 3 more weeks. So let's say he missed about possibly maybe 1 to 3 games of the regular season. And if you look at the schedule of the regular season, let's take a look at the teams that we're going to be playing. Week 1 is the Seattle Seahawks. Week 2 is the Los Angeles Rams. Week 3 is the Tennessee Titans. Week 4 is the Miami Dolphins. Week 5 is the Baltimore Ravens. Week 6 is the Houston Texans. And Week 7 is the San Francisco 49ers. So if you look at the schedule, you're really going to think, well, from my knowledge, we weren't going to win most of these games anyway. Most fans had us predicting to go maybe 2 or 3 in the first 5 games, or 3 or maybe 2 or 3, or maybe 1 and 4. Some people thought we would go even, maybe 3 and 3 or 2 and 2 out of the 4 weeks, because after week 5, there's a possibility that we're going to get Eric Fisher back. So when you look at the schedule, my prediction for Carson Wentz's return will probably be the Dolphins game, or if he wants to return big time, it'll be against the Ravens, but we wouldn't want that to happen. So my prediction is him to return against the Houston Texans, a team that's currently rebuilding and don't really know if Deshaun Watson's going to be playing or not, but even if he is, this team is on the brink of tanking still and rebuilding. So the Houston Texans looks like a huge big circle mark on your schedule for Carson Wentz to return back to football, and this is before week 7 or 8, so we still have a chance to even win the division or make the playoffs. Why? Because we only played one division team, and the Houston Texans will be the second game of the division. So I can see him returning that game. Plus, we'll probably be getting Eric Fisher back at that time as well. Plus, we're going to have Ryan Kelly. He's going to be fully healthy from his injury he sustained in the beginning of training camp. So most of these games that we're going to be playing is going to be pretty much a loss anyway. So I expect him to return around maybe week 5 or 4. I'm pretty sure the Houston Texans game, if he wants to be 100% to go, I think he'll return that game. He could return earlier. Like I said, Carson went to 75%. I'm pretty sure he's going to try to push his luck to go out there and go play anyway. But like I said, this injury, we already knew how many games he was missing anyway, so it didn't matter in the future, because it's not going to really hinder our season, because most of these games that we're playing is a very tough beginning of the season. We're probably going to lose anyway. So like I said, most people, they think the 5 to 12 is regular season games, but it's not. But, you know, the injury history for quarterbacks for the Colts, most people like to bring this up as well, but some of you may seem to forgot. I might remind you here. 2015, Luck lacerated his kidney and his shoulder issues. 2016, Luck had concussion issues. He played through a torn labrum. 2017, Luck never played. 2019, Luck retired. Then Brissett played and he hurt his knee. And now 2021, Carson Wentz is injured. Most people like to bring up Peyton Manning's neck injury as well before Luck, but you know, it is what it is. But the injury history for the Colts, most people like to say the Colts are cursed. Just go ahead and throw that out the window, because if we were cursed, we would never have a chance at a shot of making the playoffs, or even having a shot for contending to be in the conference championship. The Colts has had winning seasons for a while now. And some people seem to forget that because of the injury history of the quarterbacks or the franchise staples that we had on our team. So you can pretty much throw that out the window. We're not cursed. Like I said, nobody's healthy in the NFL. You're an athlete playing in a very dangerous sport. You're going to be bound to get hurt. Nobody is healthy. Freak, Tom Brady just won a Super Bowl and he was injured the whole year. And that didn't come out until the end of the year. Why? Because nobody wants to know about an injury in the middle of the season while you're playing. Because why? So some people, they're going to try to take advantage of that. But like I said, nobody's really healthy playing in this dangerous sport we like to call the NFL that we enjoy to watch. So injuries happen. They're freak accidents. You know, it don't matter what type of diet you're on or how much repetition you know in your workouts that you do day in and day out. You're going to be bound to get hurt. It's just how you're going to recover from that. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Like I said, most talent are not healthy. They're going to get injured. It's just a part of the sport. Simple as that. So we're not cursed. Like I said, the quarterback is probably one of the most toughest positions as well. Those blindside hits and all those things like that, trying to be mobile, all these things come into this position when you're playing quarterback. So, of course, the Colts didn't have any luck of that, no pun intended, Andrew Luck. No, we didn't have any luck of that because most of our quarterbacks would get hurt anyway. And, some of these things as well, the freak accidents or the injuries that come out, is not literally on the player's fault. Of course, the player gets hurt, but it comes as misidentified from the doctors. We have to look at the doctors as well. So even the luck for injury, for example, some people thought it was just a little tweak or anything, but later reports comes out that the injury was way worse than what people were saying it was at the beginning. So like I said, the misidentification of the injuries from the doctors make the situation worse than what it really is. So it doesn't give us any time to prepare for maybe going to get a replacement or anything of that nature. Moving on. Now that Carson Wentz is injured and we know how long he's going to be out, we're going to be looking towards the future here. And the future right now is going to be Jacob Eason. And I am a fan of Jacob Eason. We drafted him for a reason. I think he knows this is time to shine. Do I expect him to go out there and perform 100% and go crazy? Absolutely not. I expect this to be a learning curve for Jacob Eason. This is going to be a very tough start for Jacob. And then when you look at the schedule, it doesn't even make it any better because he's going to get the top defense in the Rams, in my opinion, the top defense in the NFL in week 2. So this is going to be an ultimate test. We literally just seen Jalen Ramsey make a fool of Matthew Stafford the other day, picking him off very easily. Jalen Ramsey happens to be the best corner in the NFL, and he's going to probably give Jacob Eason nightmares, him and Aaron Donald. So, like I said, this is going to be a learning experience for Jacob Eason, but I have high praise for him. I think he can go out there and win a few games, not even win a few games. I think he can go out there and game manage very well for the Indianapolis Colts going into the season. I know we got a nice running core, and I think they can lead the storm for the offense. But Jacob Eason is going to have to come down him to throwing the football a few times, and I know he can get it done. He has a very friendly target in Michael Pittman Jr. I know he's probably going to be a high asset for those fantasy owners. But then when you look at Jacob Eason, there's going to be a lot of guys taking sports bets on Jacob Eason's production going into next season. And another thing is, it's a key for this because a lot of teams do not have NFL film on Jacob Eason. So he might take a team off the top and, they might not know what to do because there's no film on him. There's no film. Like I said, for example, he can easily go in and, beat the Tennessee Titans. Not saying that it's going to be easy, but I say he can at least game manage and we can dial something up to beat them for the first meeting. Now, the second meeting might be a different story, but the first meeting, we can potentially beat the Tennessee Titans. We can potentially beat the Seattle Seahawks. Who knows? But the Rams game, not so sure. The Ravens game, not so sure. But like I said, there's 2 games we can possibly win in this 4-week spread of the beginning of the season. That's very easily for Jacob Eason. Like he can do it. We got a nice core, nice coaching staff. I think our defense can literally carry him alone as well for a victory. It's going to be a nice road for Jacob. He's not going to be perfect, but I think he can game manage at least a few games until Carson Wentz returns. Now we can go ahead and shut down the rumors for Nick Foles because that came out earlier. The Chicago Bears had an interview and he was praising Coach Frank Reich and Carson Wentz. The media likes to spin these things and narratives for the stories to try to get publicity. The Colts, I don't think they're trading for Nick Foles here because why would you go trade draft capital or anything of that nature for a quarterback that probably would put you in the same position that you're already in? So it will not make a difference at this point to go get Nick Foles. Now, if we were to go get him, I'm not really sold on him. And he is a veteran. I understand he is friendly with Coach Frank Reich. He has experience with him. but I don't know if he's going to really push the agenda of, getting him out of poverty in Chicago, because he wants to play elsewhere. As you can tell from the interview, if you didn't watch it already, it is all over the place on the internet, so just check it out. But I don't know if the Colts will really be willing to go get him and, acquire him for that. And, him potentially playing backup again for Carson Wentz when he does return. I don't know how that experience will work. Plus, we have two quarterbacks that we just acquired, we already have, that are ready for the position to be the starting quarterback. So I don't know how that will work out for the Indianapolis Colts. In my opinion, it'd just be a huge waste of time. But you guys let me know your thoughts on Carson Wentz injury, weeks 5 to 12. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts. Should we go get Nick Foles or not? And how do you think we will turn out before Carson Wentz return? All these things in the comment section. Follow me on all social media platforms. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.